Hello to everybody watching, listening, and welcome to Mechabellum, another match against a man that is, I think, about 100 MMR ahead of me. Mr. Veldrin here, who also has an absolutely amazing profile picture. I think I have an image of it somewhere lying around. I should remember to actually get that. But anyway, he is playing with area specialist, starting with Steel Ball Fang, and most likely this is going to be aggro, so I align my sledges. Well, I guess I would do that against steel balls anyway. I align my sledges to be vertical so that they get locked onto my steel balls one by one and survive as long as possible. Add some crawlers, get the marksman in position. My opponent is actually not moving yet. I'm playing with giant specialists, by the way. And this game, I should put that in the title as well, this is gonna hurt. Like, this is actively going to hurt people, I think, who want their games to be balanced and nice, because this is a painful one. And in the coming rounds, you will see exactly what I mean. Now, it's a bit unfortunate that my marksman here is having a longer way towards the steel balls that it wants to target. My opponent did add some round 1 phoenixes, which I didn't exactly expect into marksman, but yeah, we'll see how this one turns out. Anyway, steel balls here should have a pretty clear shot for the tower, but the crawlers have something to say about that. And in general, steel balls are just bad. At least in the first round. Yeah, so we'll see how this round turns out. Come on. Now there is some fangs here, and they should be enough to take these few crawlers out. Steel balls immediately locked onto. Don't get to lock onto tanks, but one of the phoenixes has already dealt with one of the tanks. Unfortunately for my opponent, these steel balls move towards the middle, where there is more crawlers to be eaten. Not their preferred food, I'm sure, but they can't help it. They get taken out pretty easily, and I basically have an army of tanks against 2 phoenixes, backed up by a couple of marksmen. So take a guess who wins round number 1. Basically, if you're starting with steel balls and you see the opponent having sledges, you're already kinda set. And if in aggro you don't manage to win the first round stacking like this, it's particularly bad. Now, senior manufacturing comes out. I pick it. I'm giant specialist after all, so I think it's a decent pickup even in round number 2. It's not too expensive. My opponent goes for the redeployment module, puts it on the phoenixes, and he's going to start with some flank shenanigans. Especially, okay, he switches side. There's nothing really in the flanks, so, you know, not really anything to do. I do go for some very frontal crawlers that can hopefully hit this tower, like destroy the fangs and hit this tower super quickly. That is my idea. I think they are faster if I put them here than if they were in the flank. First had to spawn in, then still kill these fangs. I guess the fastest way would be to put some crawlers here, so the fangs get distracted, and the crawlers here just push through. Now he has some phoenixes here, but he also puts more in their place. That is basically his round, as far as I'm able to tell, which is not too hot for the moment. He does get more tanks here with better positioning, but the crawlers are on the job. They do damage the tower, and I get the tower debuff first. Which means that I will have a pretty scary period where there is no tower debuff for me, and for my opponent there will be the full tower debuff. But there honestly isn't that much left. The only shame is that these marksmen are in the direct line of fire to the phoenixes coming from the rear, which means my opponent is probably going to win this round. Marksmen having a bit of a conflict of targets. That said, I do get the next tower debuff, but too late. Ever so slightly too late, which means that these phoenixes just are now shooting one by one. All of these crawlers are getting eaten by whatever plasma burst they have firing from the air. I do love their shots. They look pretty cool. We have some fire badgers out and some saber tooths. Overload also an option, but also basically carry Mustang. Well, not exactly super carry, but for round number 3, that is pretty good. I go for the Mustangs. my opponent does go for the fire badgers. And I talked about this previously. I think fire badgers and steelbows actually have a bit of a chance, because one burns crawlers pretty effectively, and can, at least with 9 units of speed, it's not as slow as a sledgehammer. But it also has a bit more range than a steelbow, so it stays behind them. And it does have a decent amount of health as well. I mean, it's a bit of a combination, but honestly probably not as good as steelbow and Mustang. Though it doesn't die to fire. I guess I should mention that. I have some fangs here that can intercept these phoenixes. And I do drop some additional crawlers to put them in this flank, because there is a chance that my opponent tries to go heavier into flanks or flank on multiple sides, though these Mustangs should keep me fairly safe. I also gave them range instantly. That was the majority of my money this round. Okay, he adds on more steel boys, which I'm not sure is good. But I guess he's thinking about mech diff already. He does also add some crawlers to help in the chaff war. Like, he has literally 4 units of chaff on the board in round 3. And who am I to talk? I think I have a bit more. I also dropped a missile here, just so I can be a bit extra safe. In case he wants to do more than just have these phoenixes here. Once again, one of these unfortunate little Mustangs is being pushed in by the crawlers. I really wish they would remove that. These Mustangs, despite having extra range, are not able to keep their distance from the fire badgers, which means they are definitely saying thank you very much for the XP. Can I please select one of them? Why can I not? Okay, now. They did level, and overall, my forces just get overrun here. No, this is round 4. I think it starts to get painful here. Yeah. Picture yourself being giant specialist and then having 2 senior manufacturing. Ay, ay, ay. Ay, 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 ay. Well, guess what I pick? It's not even a choice, really, is it? I wonder if you get a really long, really lucky game, you could spawn 0-cost giants. It would be absolutely insane, and probably you would have won by that point a long time already. He does go for the EMP. I guess there is a unit to decently EMP here. I instantly drop 2 fortresses and still have some money left over, which is, for round 4, that is insane. I also sold something. I'm not entirely sure what I sold, though. Really not sure what I sold. Probably doesn't matter. Anyhow, my opponent does go for an overload. I guess that is a decent counter for the most likely fortresses that are coming out. Oh, I sold these crawlers here. They were serving no purpose with the fire badgers, intercepting them. Oh, does he? Yeah, he does drop some additional crawlers. He needs some more chaff. Now, my opponent at this point is scared, I think is one way to say it. The Phoenix is here. I think they should have repositioned a long time ago. What does he think? Do I sell these? He could have at least repositioned them like here, or try to push through here with a mobile beacon or something. The Giants are on the board. One of them gets popped pretty swiftly. These Mustangs were EMP'd, so they don't have extra range here. And that means they once again get farmed upon a little by the enemy. Yeah, that flank got defeated. This is not doing much. There still is some units here, but honestly not that many. My opponent is getting a tower, which is very unfortunate because that means he does still end up winning this round. But yeah, upon seeing that giant specialist comes in like that, it is scary. Giant specialist and 2 senior manufacturing by round number 4. He ends up taking a turn, but yeah. It's time to drop the boys, and oh wow, Assault Fortress drops. Yeah. As I said, painful. For my opponent, extremely painful. Like, for real. I do drop shields on the fortresses as well. Might as well get even more HP out of them. Now they are fast. I have a little less range, but I don't think that matters all too much. And I drop 2 additional fortresses. Ugh. He has absorption module on the Overlord. But will that do much? He goes into range for steel bores. I do end up dropping an additional missile because I'm thinking surely if he doesn't reposition this, he's going to put more into that flank. Like he kind of needs to win a flank here. And what else is there to say, honestly?